Views and opinions expressed on this show are solely those of the host and guests and do not express the views or opinions of any of their employers or affiliates.
Hi, I'm RiTika Rose. Welcome to Awaken Your Truth, where I bring conscious dialogues and stories that will help you free your mind, heal your life, and embody your power. I hope to shift your perspective and create deeper understanding of yourself and others. Everyone has a story, everyone has a purpose, every experience has a reason. This show is about engaging with the truth of who you are, discovering your personal power and stepping into your authentic self so you can have more compassion and empathy for yourself and everyone around you. It's time for us to dig deep and learn to see ourselves and others with clarity so that we can come together and create a brighter future for humanity. When we free our minds, we can heal our lives, and this is how we build a powerful, transformed world. Awaken Your Truth starts now. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Awaken Your Truth with me, RiTika Rose, where I bring conscious dialogues that free your mind, heal your life, and embody your power. For those of you that listened to my earlier episode this month, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I was dedicating this month to mental health awareness, a topic that is very important to me and to the work that I do. We are continuing the conversation today to support Mental Health Awareness Month with the topic of modern day mental health. Everybody has it, including you. This is really important, guys, because mental health is still a conversation and still a topic that is often very misunderstood. There is so much stigma around mental health still. Just the term in itself, mental health, that often people want to ignore it. They want to dismiss it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. All of that creates the cycle of evolving mental health issues that we're facing today and that we've always faced today. I think that modern day mental health, as Josh and I spoke in the last episode, mental health is becoming more and more and more of an important topic that's being discussed personally, professionally, socially. And I'm so happy for that, because for those of us mental health practitioners that are solely here to support everyone into living their highest quality of life and their best quality of life, I'm just so happy that this conversation is starting to grow and evolve. I'm going to be really honest. It's taken me quite a long time to outline this show today. I think because the topic is just so important to me and for the work that I do and why I've stepped into this field. Early on in my days of studying occupational therapy and psychology, and then moving into creating my own coaching and wellness practice, it's taken me quite a bit to get everything together for today and present this show to you. And then I went into my own, inner thoughts, which we'll talk about too, the importance of meditation and just sitting with yourself and calming your mind and letting the thoughts just flow into an intuitive space to help you make the decisions, which is a really important part of mental health. And then it came to me, you know what, RiTika? Just to start talking, just be in flow, just keep it simple. I think because the topic is so important, there's so much that I want to bring up, and it may not come up in the show today, but just keep it simple, which is a beautiful meditative intuitive segue. So thank you to the meditation process, because the theme of Mental Health Month of 2022 is back to basics, right? So keeping it simple and back to basics. So let's dive in a little bit about what does back to basics mean, right? The mental health community, all the mental health organizations, the theme is back to basics. So, as human beings, I'm just reading from my notes here, as human beings, we have basic needs in order to survive. If our basic needs are not being met, it is easy to move into a state of panic or crisis. Slowing down and paying attention to each need can help calm down and find perspective. So let's talk about what some of these basic needs are. We have air, we have water, we have nutrition, we have shelter, and we have a sense of of belonging, right? So these are our 5 basic needs, right? So air, what does air mean? We all need air to breathe, right? But also not only just the basic need of air to breathe, but paying attention to, are we actually taking nice and steady breaths? When we're feeling anxious or nervous or stressed, we tend to breathe heavier, right? We may not pay attention to our breathing and the breaths that we're taking. So when we're feeling overworked or overstimulated, or anxious or fearful or worried about anything, if you can come to a conscious state of mind, freeing your mind, right? Coming to that conscious state of mind. How am I? I'm feeling a little distressed right now. Come into your consciousness around that. Stop and take a breath. And just breathe. Do that 3 or 4 times, just to take a deep breath in, bring in that air, feel it, hold it in, exhale, breathe. Calm yourself, bring that nervous system back into peace of mind, right? Air. Water. Are you drinking enough water? Our bodies are made up of 98% water. We need water to survive. It's a basic skill, it's a basic need. Are we drinking enough water in the day? Pay attention to what fluids you're taking into your body every day. Is it soda? Is it tea? Is it coffee? Sure, enjoy those fluids, but having a good amount of water every day is very important to you as well, to stay hydrated, to keep your organs, your skin, everything internally inside of us hydrated and healthy. So please pay attention to, what you're drinking, and all of these things that we're talking about, going forward, is all important to our mental health too, right? Because our physical and mental health are very much connected with each other, right? Water, food, the food that you're eating. Are you keeping a healthy diet? Are you keeping nutritious foods in your system? The foods that we eat have a direct effect on our mental health as well, because processed food, overly sugar influenced food can shift the way our physical health in our body and how our body is functioning, right? And if our body is functioning a certain way and our body is starting to feel sluggish, our body is not starting to feel well, our body is starting to get ill, then that affects our mental health as well, right? Because we start thinking, how do we take care of us? Why am I feeling this way? How do I feel better? Right? So it's directly correlated. So just very quickly, just paying attention to the foods that you eat, take account of it. If you're not feeling your best, take a look at, could it be just a wrong choice of foods that you've had this week or today or over the month, right? And how can you incorporate some more nutritious foods, into your system, right? Shelter. How is your shelter? How is where you live? Do you have a peaceful environment that you live in? How can you shift your environment to make it more peaceful and you feel more at peace and more connected in the space that you live, right? Really pay attention to where you live. Who's in that surrounding? Do you need to find some space for yourself? If you live in a home with other people, can you find a space for yourself in your home, and just have that quiet time to yourself? If you live alone, is the space that you're in feeling connected to you? What do you need to redecorate or shift around or remove or add into your space to make it more peaceful for you, so you feel like you belong there and you feel that you can spend most of your time there, right? And then finally, a sense of belonging, right? Are you surrounded by people that you feel loved and accepted by? Who are the people in your life? So important to pay attention to, right? And with the people in your life, are you helping them to feel loved and accepted as well? Are you checking in on your folks? Are you, and if you need support or help, are you reaching out to the folks in your life to receive the support that you need? Do you have that good social family unit and circle of people in your life that help you feel loved, belonged, and accepted. So really paying attention to that, right? And if not, what do you need to do to incorporate or to find those people that you can have in your life so you do feel more loved, accepted, and connected? Sorry, there's a bug flying around, right? And if you don't feel loved, accepted, and connected by the people in your life, it is okay to consider too, who do I need to maybe take some space from, right? Who do I need to reconsider as a part of my inner circle and as a part of my life, right? You need to really pay attention to, are the people in your life helping you feel uplifted? Do they really see you? Do they really understand you, right? And are these the people in your life that do still truly belong there, right? So this actually can go with your personal and professional life too, right? So pay attention to your professional circles. Sure, we all have jobs, right, in who we work with, but even within those jobs and within the teams and within the units that we work in, there are people that we could feel more connected with than others. Are you spending your time there with them? Are there people within your workspace that keep you uplifted, that keep you, accountable to your goals, that cheer you on, right? And if you are someone working within a team, do you bring that sort of energy to others, right? We want everyone to feel good in the workplace as well, right? Because the more that we all feel uplifted, the more that we can all achieve our goals together, right? Are we operating as a team and as a unit? Or is there a sense of competition or judgment or negative energy in the environment? So really just paying attention to your workspace. And if you're a leader in the workspace, what are you doing to help your teams feel connected, to feel aligned with their goals, to help them feel like they want to continue accomplishing the goals for your team and for the company, right? What can you do as a leader to help your team and your people feel supported, right? That they can come to you and talk to you about their needs and their concerns as they need to. Do you have an open space, an open door policy for your people to come in, right? And even as friends, on a personal level, as friends, do we have that open door policy for our friends to say, hey, I'm here for you when you need it. I'm here to talk to you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to accept the place where you're at. I'm going to love you no matter what. But I'm here to listen to you and I'm here to support you as needed. So these are like the 5 basic, back to the basics that we're talking, the mental health organizations are talking about this month. So hopefully just by me just talking about these 5 basic needs, that this can support the initial process of keeping your mental state healthy, right? Because then once those 5 basic needs are met, so we're saying this month in mental health month, then come the psychological needs, right? And then we'll get into this in the next segment. But that being said, I just want to talk a little bit about what mental health is, right? Mental health versus mental illness. And this is where some of the stigma comes in, because the topic is again, it's becoming more understood, but still misunderstood, right? That the topic of having so many people correlate mental illness with mental health. Now, neither should be judged or looked down upon. Someone has a mental health illness, they have a mental illness. It's just like having a physical illness, right? We all have physical bodies, we all have mental bodies as well, right? So let's just pay attention to that. Why do we look down upon someone that may have a mental illness or someone that may be going through a mental health struggle at the time, right? So let's talk about this a little bit. Mental health. So mental health versus mental illness. Mental health is your state of emotional, cognitive, behavioral well-being. It's how we think, feel, behave, and how we relate to others within that state of being. Now, these state of beings can fluctuate depending on circumstances. So whatever is happening in your daily world, right? The state of being can fluctuate just depending on what your life experience and your journey is giving you at that moment, right? But when a mental health state moves into a condition or an illness, the mental health illness is the condition or the effect of the mood, thinking, or behavior. It's a consistent pattern of behavior. Now, this is where something becomes an illness, and where people may be seeking out more consistent, in-depth psychological or psychiatric care, right? psychiatry or psychological treatments and medications, right? Um, and whereas mental health state of being, again, it can vary day to day, month to month, year to year, just depending on what's happening in your world at that time. And I think, especially now, with coming into 2 years of this pandemic and the mental health organizations really wanting us to come back to basics, right? We've seen mental health challenges grow through the state of COVID, right? With isolation, uncertainty, and loss. So much isolation, uncertainty, and loss has happened over the last couple of years that it really has affected people's life experiences and their circumstances. And people have been struggling with mental health. And I think that's why the topic is becoming more and more accepted and more understood. And that's why we really want to, as we're coming out of the pandemic slowly, we want to return back to the basics, right? First, so then we can start understanding then more on a psychological level what everybody needs to be supported in their personal lives and how we can support other people as well, right? So mental health is not a mental illness. Everybody has mental health, but not everyone has a mental illness. But that's the importance of this conversation I want to have today, is that everybody has mental health. I really want you to understand that once we can all see that we all have mental health and we all go through mental health struggles and challenges at different times of our life, we can bring more acceptance around mental health challenges and mental illnesses to this world today, and help people to feel that there is nothing wrong with them. How many times I talk about my show, there's nothing wrong with you, right? You're just going through a certain life experience right now. So the more that we can all come to a level of acceptance of ourselves and one another, and love for ourselves and one another for what we're going through, right? That it's okay to be feeling what you're feeling, to be going through what you're going through. The more that we can bring that out to the world, the more that we can bring our healing, the more that we can heal the world together, which is one of the biggest reasons for my show, Awaken Your Truth, too, right? It's helping people to really step into their truth, be okay with their truth, with who they are in the moment, and then accepting everyone else's truths, right? And so we can start breaking this stigma and judgments and assumptions we have of other people, and just start coming together more and more as a human race, and start accepting and loving one another more and more, right? One of my biggest mottos within my business is, when your mind is not at peace, neither is your body or spirit, right? So really understanding mental health and accepting your mental health, and understanding that when when your mind is not feeling at peace, right? What can you start doing going forward, right? To bring your mind back into center, and to bring your mind back into a peaceful way of being. So holistically and integratively, you can start feeling at your best. You can start living your best life on a daily basis. And when we come back from commercial break, I'm going to go through some of the signs and symptoms that you can start tapping into, to see that, this is, I may need to start receiving some support and help around these areas. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that it's going to break into a condition or a long-term illness, but it's really important to understand some of the symptoms you may be having, that you may be struggling with, so you can start nipping it in the bud now and start getting the support that you need now, so it doesn't become a more long-term condition that you need to deal with going forward in your life. So I hope that the beginning of the show was supportive to help start breaking the stigma around mental health and mental illnesses and conditions. And when we come back, we'll talk about some of the symptoms that we need to address and take a look at, so you can start getting the support that you need. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back. Are you feeling lost in this journey we call life? When you awaken the truth of your patterns, limitations, and beliefs, you can start to heal relationship with yourself, others, and your circumstances. I'm RiTika Rose, life coach, author, and speaker. My mission is to help you align with your most powerful, authentic self and transform how you experience your inner and outer world. Find the confidence and peace to live the highest version of your life. Visit RiTikaRose.com. Hello, everybody. My name is RiTika Rose, your personal life coach, best-selling author of Tagged You're It, Become the Leader of Your Own Life, and the creator of Aim Higher Personal Success Programs. The Aim Higher programs are developed to help you discover deeper levels of your true self. Do you feel like you've been trained by society, culture, family, to be a certain way and to show up a certain way, but sometimes feel trapped and limited because you really want to show up as your true self? My mission is to help you redefine relationship with yourself, others, and life, and start defining life on your terms. We cannot operate at our full potential if we are not operating from integrity of self. I look forward to a free consultation with you. With gratitude, peace, and blessings. For more information about how to work with me, please visit RiTikaRose.com. Welcome back to Awaken Your Truth with me, RiTika Rose, where I bring conscious dialogues that free your mind, heal your life, and embody your power. Thank you for listening today to modern day mental health. Everybody has it, including you. I hope that you do click on the banners throughout the show where I can support you in awakening your truth and advancing your inner mastery to help you support becoming, taking control and leadership of your own mental and physical health through my programs and through my meditation services that I provide and offer. So as we move into the next segment, supporting your psychological needs for yourself and others, right? I do want to give a little bit of an example of helping you to understand how important mental health is, as important as it is to your physical health, right? So physical health is something that everyone is all too familiar with, that we all take a look at and take care of, right? And mental health is something that we sort of in the past have just put aside, but as we've talked about, is becoming more and more accepted and more modern to talk about and to support your mental health and any challenges that you're facing. So let's take a look at some physical symptoms, right? And like understanding the importance of paying attention, how we pay attention to our physical symptoms before it erupts into a full-blown condition, right? And then understanding the importance of taking care of our mental health symptoms, which we're going to talk about in this segment, before it can erupt into a full-blown symptom. So let's take a look at blood pressure, for example, right? A physical symptom. Why do we have increased blood pressure, right? Blood pressure can increase based on our stress levels, based on our diet, right? So again, physical health versus physical condition, right? Just like mental health versus a physical condition, it can vary. So the health can vary. Physical health can vary, mental health can vary. But if we don't take care of it, it can erupt into a full-blown condition or illness. So blood pressure. So you go to the doctor, your blood pressure is elevated. You take your blood pressure at home when something's not feeling right in your body, right? Your blood pressure is elevated, right? So you start taking a look at your stress levels, right? Is there anything in your life that's stressing you out? Because we know that stress is a direct correlation to increased blood pressure, right? How are your foods? How is your food intake? Potentially, the doctor, your nutritionist will say the foods that you're eating are increasing your blood pressure. You need to change your diet, right? You need to change the foods that you eat. You need to change some of the fluids that you intake, right? All has a direct effect on your blood pressure, right? So what's going to happen in those situations is you're going to start taking a look at your stress levels, and you're going to start taking a look at your food and fluid intake, right? And if you get those under control, then your blood pressure can start to normalize and potentially not have these consistent variations of high blood pressure, right? And potentially then you won't need to be on medication, and it won't erupt into a full-blown diagnosis of hypertension, right? Because if you don't take care of it in the initial stages, then it can erupt into a full-blown illness, right? And a diagnosis. So same with mental health, right? If you are noticing that you're having feelings of sadness, loneliness, lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem, you're starting to feel increased fear or worry around certain things, these are some initial symptoms that you may be having, right? That's that that can give you, the initial insight that, something's not right here, um, in my mental health. My mind is not feeling at peace. What can I do and what can I take a look at to help subside some of these symptoms that I'm feeling, so it doesn't become a daily, hourly, consistent feeling that I'm having that's going to send me into, needing to take medications for this on a daily basis, or seek out psychiatry or long-term psychology, right? If you're starting to feel some of these symptoms, you can start taking control of it now, right? And so I just want you to understand the importance of, just like with your physical health, taking control of those initial symptoms as they start, so it doesn't become a full-blown illness and something that we need to start taking care of more on a long-term daily basis, which you should be doing anyway, but it doesn't become where it requires more medical attention. Same thing with your mental health, right? So really starting to pay attention to that. If you're starting to have these feelings now, how can you start taking care of it now, so it doesn't become more of a long-term duration or long-term illness, right? So supporting your psychological needs for yourself and others. So we have three basic psychological needs also, right? Which is security, feeling significant, and feeling like you belong, right? So also one of the five basic needs, but right, a little bit more um involved now, right? These supporting the three basic psychological needs, right? Security, significance, belonging. So how do we feel secure in our lives, right? Security often comes from our financial means and needs and support, our family support, our friends support, right? Feeling that we have a lot of our grounding and feeling secure in life is feeling that we have good support financially and through family or friends, right? So if any one of these areas is out of balance or out of alignment or not feeling optimal to you, you could not be feeling very secure in your life, right? And then that can start a lot of the mental health struggles and challenges that you're feeling, right? About financial security is big, right? So starting to stress about your finances, right? So then major stress can start coming in around your finances, right? Starting to feel depressed if you don't have enough, or starting to feel anxious about, how do I maintain it or make enough, right? To meet my needs, either personally or for family or your lifestyle, right? So, and then if you don't feel like you have good family support or good friend support, then you can also start to feel very lonely or isolated, or that you feel like you don't have anybody that's there to hear you, love you, accept you, right? So start to pay attention to your security. Do you feel like you have a good security in your life around these areas, right? And if not, what can you start doing to open up those channels so you can start to feel more secure, right? Who is it that you need to get support from, right? Finding the practitioners that can support you, right? To help you really understand, what can you do? What are the tools and tips and strategies that you can take, to help support these areas, right? Do if it is a career or a security or financial issue, who within your workplace, right? Or if you're an entrepreneur, or within your networking circles, that can you reach out to getting the support that you need, uh, to support you with, the financial structure that you're seeking, right? Who can you have these conversations with to help you start building that security that you need, right? If who in your family circle, in your friend circle, can you identify maybe one or two people? Maybe it's not the immediate people that you see or you have in your life, but maybe it's others. Who can you identify that you can reach out to, right? That can support you in those areas. And if you don't have that, what groups can you seek out that maybe are aligned or in the same space as you are, that you can have group conversations, or that you can reach out to people one-on-one, to help support you, in the areas that you're seeking, right? So pay attention to your security and how secure you're feeling around those different areas of life, right? Significance. We all want to feel like we have significance in this world, right? That we are influencing, the people in our life or in the work that we're doing in a way that feels, aligned with us. We want to feel like we're purposeful, right? In our personal lives and in our professional lives, right? So are you feeling purposeful with the work that you're doing? Are you feeling creative with the work that you're doing? Do you enjoy the work that you're doing? Right? Really take a look at your professional space. Are you in a position or in a job where you feel like you're making a difference for the people in your lives or for the company that you work for? Do you feel like you're working for a company that you believe in their values, that you believe in their mission, and that you feel like you're working towards those values and that mission because they align with you? At work, do you feel like you're using all of your skills, your strengths, and your creativity to your maximum potential? And if not, do you want to start utilizing your skills and your strengths to its maximal potential? And if so, who can you start to have conversations around that, right? And talk to your leaders or leaders yourself. Are you recognizing the strengths and skills of your staff, right? And where you can start utilizing them in different ways so they do feel more purposeful at work, that they want to come to work, that they want to get the job done, right? Because if we're not feeling purposeful and we're not starting to feel challenged anymore or creative anymore, we can start losing that sense of fulfillment in the work that we're doing. You might start seeing lack of motivation, slacking off, productivity is not being met, financials are not being met, you know, etc. It's a whole cycle that can happen in the workspace if you're not feeling like it- that you're giving as much as you can, right? And if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, same in that space. Do you feel like you are being as creative as you can be in the work that you're doing to support and help others with the company that you have? Is it growing to the speed that you wanted to, or not? Or are you okay with where it's at, but you're just not feeling as creative in what you're doing anymore? Do you need to shift some things around so you do feel a little bit more on purpose or aligned? And listen, for business owners, you can start in one place and it continues to evolve. you know uh for example, for myself, when I first started my life coaching and healing practice, and it still is very spiritually based, but more so 10 years ago, it was absolutely helping people to tap into their spiritual selves, because that's how I healed my mind and healed myself so drastically, because I awoke spiritually to my truth, right? I discovered on a really deep, spiritual level, who I am and my mission and my purpose here in this lifetime, right? So my mission became to really help people understand their purpose too. And it really still is that. So I really help people awaken their truth to the purpose and mission they have here when they're feeling like they're lost and confused in this life, right? In the beginning, when I thought it was really spiritually based, it's evolved more and more into the mental health space, right? I realized that most of my clients have come to me with deeper levels of anxiety, which I did not realize I was going to be treating anxiety, but it all makes sense in my world, because as a licensed occupational therapist, again, we work on physical and mental health, so we're trained in both areas, and it's a very holistic approach. So very, very deeply, I understand how mental health affects the physical health. And so when I'm treating people in my occupational therapy sessions, it really is that holistic approach. And in the medical setting, I'm really tapping into the physical and mental health as a whole when I'm in my treatment sessions. But then in my life coaching and healing work, it's really become the same, right? So as business owners, we can start off with one thing, but your mission can evolve. And so are you evolving with your mission? Are you evolving with your purpose? Right? So paying attention to that, so you can stay significant and you can stay on track with your purpose, right? So that's number two. And number three, belonging, right? Huge, huge. Everybody wants to feel like they belong. Huge space in the mental health arena, right? In our psychological needs. We all want to feel like we belong. So when you're starting to feel a decline or a decrease in your self-worth, right? You're not good enough. Why am I here? What is my purpose? You just don't understand, what your life purpose or experience is all about, right? Starting to pay attention to that really please seek out support, and please reach out to me, because this is literally the work that I do, is to really help you awaken your truth to the purpose of who you are and why you're here, right? And what is your mission, right? Lack of self-esteem, right? Lack of self-love, self-acceptance. If you're starting to feel any of that, because it's potentially that you don't understand why you belong here, right? What are you doing here in this existence, in this experience, on your journey, right? You don't feel like you belong because you don't know what your purpose is or your mission is or what you're really supposed to be doing, right? That's one area to look at, is yourself, right? Becoming really aware of yourself, right? And do you feel a sense of belonging in general? Two, right? Do you have the love in your life? Do you have love in your life and the people in your life? And guys, are you giving love out? It's so important, right? Please make sure that we can get so caught up in our worlds, right? And everything that we're doing. We get caught up in the doing and we forget to be, right? So are you getting caught up in the doing of all the tasks that you need to do and all the duties that you need to do, right? That you forget to be? Again, what I do is I help you first be, then do, so you can have your optimal life experience, right? I want you to start living through your being as a human being, right? Settling into your human beingness of who you are and why you're here and what we're here to do, for ourselves and for others. Then you can start doing. So are you too caught up in your doing that you're not loving on other people, that you're not there for other people, right? And are you also so caught up in your doing that you're not allowing the love in, right? Because if that energy of love is not in flow, we can often feel like we don't belong either, right? Love is a big, strong aspect of feeling like you belong, right? And feeling that others, uh, that you belong with others as well, right? And communication. Communication is another really, really important area to think about when it comes to belonging, right? Feeling like you belong. Are you actively listening to people, right? Do you have people in your life that actively listen to you? Everybody wants to feel like they're they're heard and they're accepted. We don't want to feel judged. We don't want assumptions around us based on, oh, well, it looked, based on your social media, it looks like everything's great. Or when you're in a conversation with someone and you're expressing yourself, or you want to talk about something, that you feel like that person's not listening to you, right? Their mind is somewhere else and distracted, or they turn it around and switch the topic on something because they don't want to hear what you're saying. It's not of interest to them, or they don't take accountability, in the conversation, when it's something that is dealing, with each other. So feeling like we belong, communication is a really important piece of that. Because if we feel like we're not heard, or if we're feeling like we're dismissed in any way, then you're not going to feel like you belong, uh, in that group or with that person, or in that situation, etc. So really pay attention to your communication skills in both your personal and professional life, right? But actually in all of these areas in your personal and professional life, right? um, do you feel like you're worthy enough in your professional space, and in your personal space? And are you helping others to see their worth in their professional space and in their life with you personally, right? Are you, so maybe love is not a word that you want to use in your professional space. Maybe sometimes it's not even comfortable in your personal space. So you can exchange love for gratitude, right? Are you thankful for the people in your professional space? Are you showing them gratitude, throughout the day for the work that they're doing, for what they're bringing, to the team, right? And even in your personal life, are you thanking your friends? Are you thanking your family? Are you thanking your loved ones for being who they are, for bringing what they bring to your life, right? And to different situations. And then lastly, communication, do you have effective communication? Are you listening actively, right? And then do you also have the people back in your life that are actively listening and communicating with you? So these are the basic psychological needs that, a security, significance, and belonging that I really want you guys to start paying attention to. Do you have these? Do you have these three key elements in your life, right? And then when we come back again, we're going to talk about some of the feelings and emotions and thoughts that you may have, um, that if you are having them, to seek out the support that you need. So we'll be right back after this commercial break, and I hope that these basic psychological needs were supportive of you to really start paying attention to, do you have these areas in your life, and what do you need to implement them? Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Are you feeling lost in this journey we call life? When you awaken the truth of your patterns, limitations, and beliefs, you can start to heal relationship with yourself, others, and your circumstances. I'm RiTika Rose, life coach, author, and speaker. My mission is to help you align with your most powerful, authentic self and transform how you experience your inner and outer world. Find the confidence and peace to live the highest version of your life. Visit RiTikaRose.com. Hello, everybody. My name is RiTika Rose, your personal life coach, best-selling author of Tagged You're It, Become the Leader of Your Own Life, and the creator of Aim Higher Personal Success Programs. The Aim Higher programs are developed to help you discover deeper levels of your true self. Do you feel like you've been trained by society, culture, family, to be a certain way and to show up a certain way, but sometimes feel trapped and limited because you really want to show up as your true self? My mission is to help you redefine relationship with yourself, others, and life, and start defining life on your terms. We cannot operate at our full potential if we are not operating from integrity of self. I look forward to a free consultation with you. With gratitude, peace, and blessings. For more information about how to work with me, please visit RiTikaRose.com. Welcome back to Awaken Your Truth with me, RiTika Rose, where I bring conscious dialogues that free your mind, heal your life, and embody your power. Welcome back to Modern Day Mental Health. Everybody has it, including you. And in this segment, we are going to talk about how it has in the past become a norm to not talk about your emotions or feelings, and that you must stay strong and keep it all together and keep it inside, so to not show that you're weak. Right. And I really, in this segment, want to shift that, right? Because when someone does speak about their feelings, there's not something wrong with them. People want to, we want to ensure that when people are talking about their feelings now in today's modern mental health, right, that they don't feel like they're going to be judged or not accepted, right? Too often when people have been talking about their mental, their emotions or their feelings that they have, people stay away from it, or they don't want to talk about it. I just want to read my notes here. It has become the norm to not talk about your emotions or feelings. You must stay strong and keep it inside to not show you're weak. So when someone does speak about their feelings, there is something wrong with them, and people want to stay away from it. Or if it is something related to you directly, a feeling that someone's having about you, or emotion that someone's feeling towards you directly, sometimes we tend to, or other people tend to, ignore what the other person is saying because they don't want to take responsibility, or the conversation's too deep or heavy for them to take part in. So they put the blame back on the other person, and they don't take responsibility for themselves. And this is a cycle that creates more of the mental health battle, right? This is really, really important that I really want people to understand, right? When we don't allow others to talk about their feelings or their emotions, about how they're feeling personally, or how they're feeling towards you, or how they're feeling about a certain situation or experience in their journey in their professional or personal space, right? And we don't actively hear them, and we dismiss them, or we turn it back on them that something's wrong with them and not the situation or myself, right? We don't take responsibility in it. It creates more of that cycle of the mental health battle, because the person who's feeling those emotions and the person that is feeling those feelings now even more so don't feel secure in their thoughts or feelings, or don't feel like that they belong, or don't feel like, they have a significance in in the place that they're speaking, right? Let's stop this, guys. Let's stop this stigma. Let's stop this judgment. Let's stop this assumption. Let's stop the blame on others, and let's really start to dig deep and become aware of ourselves and how we're being in these situations, right? And if you're part of the situation that is creating this challenge or struggle for somebody else, right? Let's start to now work together so we can create a deeper level of healing for everybody, right? If you're experiencing something, you're going to want to feel as heard just as much as the other person wants to feel heard. So why would we ever not listen to somebody else or support somebody else when they're also feeling a certain way? Okay. So I really want to hone that in, right? Really now starting to shift the way we communicate and deal with people that are wanting to talk about or that are feeling a struggle, and how can we start supporting one another more and more, right? With less judgment, less assumption, just a good listening ear, right? So some examples and signs and symptoms that you may be going through, that could be the initial warnings of maybe needing to take care of your mental health, right? Not that it's gonna expand into a mental illness or a condition, but just taking care of your mental health. Again, mental health is all about bringing your mind back into a peaceful state, right? So how can you bring your mind back into a peaceful state when we're feeling? So let's go through some of the symptoms, and then we'll then we'll go into that a little bit more, right? So have you been feeling isolated? Okay. Do you feel like a lack of belonging? Are you feeling like you're not being understood? Are you feeling like you're not loved? Or do you feel increased sadness? Do you feel decreased self-worth or self-esteem? Do you feel a loss of connection with others? Do you feel a loss of friendship or partnership? Are you starting to just feel low and down, fatigued, not motivated? Are you starting to have confused thinking? Are you, or a reduced ability to concentrate? Are you starting to feel excessive fear or worry? Do you feel like you're having some mood shifts of highs and lows? Okay. Do you feel like you just want to withdraw from people and be alone and just not be around others? Are you feeling, mentioned this, are you feeling significant tiredness or increased tiredness, low energy? Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you feeling detached from reality? Are you finding the inability to cope with different areas of your life? Life is just getting too hard for you. You don't have the right strategies to cope with. Are you having trouble understanding or relating to situations and other people? Are you starting to drink more or use drugs more, as as a way of subsiding your feelings and emotions, because you just don't want to feel anymore? You want to get rid of the feelings, right? Are you having major changing in your eating habits? You're eating too much or you're eating too little? Is your sex drive changing? Either too much or too little. It could be both ways too. Excessive anger, hostility, or violence, suicidal thinking, right? So these are some of the areas you can start thinking about. Are any of these thoughts or emotions or feelings going through your mind, right? And if they are, it could just be a warning sign that maybe you need to talk to somebody, right? Find a therapist, find a coach, find a class that would be healing or supportive to you. Find a friend or family member that you can talk to, right? So when we talk about, well, we'll talk about some of the strategies of classes in a bit, but also, oh, this is another really important topic. Sometimes the symptoms of mental health can show up as physical symptoms, right? So this is where a mind-body connection is that I was talking about earlier, right? So are you having more stomach pain, more back pain, headaches, other unexplained aches and pains, right? So really paying attention to that. Are you having weight gain or weight loss? Are you having heart health, like pains in your chest, right? Um, um, your spinal health, any back problems, right? So all of these, and any other physical symptoms that you may be having that are just coming and going, or you're feeling like they're coming up, they're becoming more consistent, right? It's really important to then two things, right? Really, is this coming from some level of stress or mental anguish that you're feeling, right? Because the mental body and the physical body are absolutely correlated and connected, right? Again, if your mind is not at peace, neither is your body or your spirit, right? So any excess stress in the mind that's not being taken care of, even minor, right? And it's different per person, but any excess stress that is not being taken care of, the stress has nowhere else to go but to erupt sometimes also in a physical illness, if not a mental illness, right? So we really want to start paying attention to our physical bodies also, right? Because the stress has to go somewhere. And if you're not taking care of it initially, right, it's got to erupt somewhere, right? A great example of that, I mean, there's so many great examples, but I love this example of shingles, right? Shingles is directly affected to stress, right? It and what happens with shingles, literally the nerves, whichever nerves are affected from the shingles, literally erupt into blistering, painful rashes, right? Because the stress had nowhere else to go. The nerves were so overworked that the nerves erupted into a blistering, painful rash, right? Which then takes time to heal. And then someone wishing also has residual pains after that. So, that's just, I think, a great example of how mental health and physical health are absolutely correlated and connected together. So, guys, really start, paying attention to your mind body connection, right? A lot of the work that I do, with my clients, as I initially started, as I was coming more and more into my truth and becoming more and more intuitive, about human behavior and just intuitive in general, really one of the things I've been working on, or I do work on with my clients, is really working with the energy of the body. I have a very intuitive sense of the energy of the body. Like I can literally feel where the body is feeling stressed, right? And then because of the extra education and work that I've done to understand the body mind connection, wherever I feel that stress in the physical body, I help my clients to understand emotionally where that's tied together, right? So it's so important to understand that, right? So let's take a look at some of the strategies that you can start to implement, right, to help you find a more peaceful, now in the last few moments of the show, right, to help you find your peace of mind, right, to help you really come back into alignment of a peaceful state of being, right? For me, one of the first things that came to me when I awoke and when I was going through my healing process was meditation. I can't support meditation enough, right? The calming of the mind is so important, to just recenter yourself and rebalance yourself. And for those that are really seeking to develop their intuitive skills more, so they can just listen to their higher selves and really receive the direction and the guidance that they need on a daily basis of how to move forward and how to find peace in their lives. I can't express meditation enough. And if meditation is something that you're seeking out and you want to explore more, please do contact me at ritikarose.com /contact, or email me at info@ritikarose.com so I can discuss with you my meditation healing services, which I've been doing for over 8 years now, for organizations and for individuals, and groups. So you can work with me. You can bring me on into your organizations or your corporations to do these meditation sessions for your teams. You can also work with me in your personalized groups as a family or friends, or you can work with me one-on-one. It's one of the greatest gifts that I feel like I've been able to give, is to guide these meditations and to really help people come into that peaceful, stress-free place of being, right? Some of the other tips now I'm going to give you are the 8 life mastery skills in my book, Tagged Your It, Become the Leader of Your Own Life, which you see in the commercial banners here, right? And these are the tried and true steps that I incorporated into my life during 3 of the most stressful life transforming transitions that I faced in my life 10 years ago, right? Had I not incorporated these 8 skills into my daily life, I would not have been able to find the peace and balance and grounding to get through these major events that I had in healing heartbreak, losing a soulmate, dissolving an abusive business partnership, and having the most challenging director career and most challenging team in my career, right? And the first thing was stepping into my truth. And every day waking up into my truth, knowing who I am, not second guessing myself, not doubting myself, not doubting my self-worth or my self-esteem, absolutely knowing my strengths and my skills on a daily basis and what I bring to my people, what I bring to this world, and what I bring with my wisdom and my intelligence and my skills to my workplace and to my personal workspace, to my workspace and to my personal life, right? Again, I can't express doing the self-awareness and the self-esteem and self-worth work if you feel like it's lacking in you, so you can step into your highest level and really step into and wake up to your truth every day and operate through that every day. So there is no shift in your stability or your core of who you are, right? Every day you wake up knowing exactly who you are without doubt, without question, so you can go forward into your purpose and into your mission. So 1 is stepping up and waking into your truth, right? 2, coming into full acceptance of yourself. And all of these steps are in my book, so please do purchase the book on Amazon if you feel so desired, or please do contact me for the personal program that I take you through to help you work. And it's a very personal, it's not something, you can read the book, absolutely, but working with me on a deep level to really understand these steps for you personally and how that works for you in your personal life experience and your personal journey is really going to support you. So sorry for stepping off the topic, but it's just really important for me to say that to you. So 1, your truth. 2, acceptance of yourself. Once you step into full acceptance of yourself, you can then step into acceptance of others, right? And that's how we make that circle of belonging. That's how we start initiating that circle of belonging and acceptance of others, so people can start feeling for themselves and for others more loved and appreciated in this world, right? So acceptance, really discovering how to step into acceptance. 3rd, gratitude, right? Like I talked about earlier. If love is too strong of a word for you, then gratitude, right? But even if love is a word that you like to use, or an emotion or a feeling that you like to feel, how can you find gratitude every day, waking up every morning saying, thank you, universe, world, whoever, your boss, your friends, your family, your spouse, your children, thank you, XYZ, for X, Y, and Z, right? So waking up with gratitude every morning and every day throughout the day, paying attention to your experiences and really being present to what you can feel gratitude about in that present moment. Because without that certain thing, life could be worse, right? That's a direct quote from my chapter in gratitude, right? Without this, how would my life be worse? So saying and finding gratitude every day in your life for little things and big things, right? 4th, giving and receiving, right? That giving and receiving energy is so important, right? Are you giving enough out to the people in your life and to what you have in life, but then also, are you receiving enough? We need to have a good balance of giving and receiving. If you don't have a good balance of giving and receiving, step into that a little bit more and see what areas do you need to receive more, what areas do you need to give more. We can't be the ones that receive all the time, taking and receiving from others without giving back, right? The energy is going to shift. It's going to shift our relationships with people. It's going to shift relationship with ourselves, right? We just can't have and receive all the time without giving back. But then we also can't be the over givers, giving all the time to people, loving all the time to people without receiving love and appreciation and getting back from others, right? So really pay attention to your personal and professional world in these two areas, right? Do you have a good balance of giving and receiving? Next, expression. Expression is communication, right? So being able to express yourself, but then also allowing yourself to hear from others too, right? So do you feel like you're comfortable enough and you have the people in your life, and key being, are you comfortable enough expressing yourself, right? Expressing your thoughts and feelings and emotions and being able to talk about whatever it is you feel like you want to talk about, right? And if not, let's dive into that. Why are you not comfortable talking about what you feel like you need to talk about? Because absolutely all of that, all of everything that you feel like you need to talk about that's pent up inside is going to erupt into something else. So we really want to get you to a place where you feel comfortable expressing yourself, right? However, in whichever way that is for you. And we also want to make sure that we are providing space for people to express themselves. So when someone does want to come talk to you or express themselves to you, are you that active, open, reciprocating partner in that communication, right? So everybody feels heard, right? Next is detachment, right? And this is a much deeper area, and it's one of the hardest skills to incorporate. But when you do the work with me, we dive in really deep into this area of how can you detach, right, from things that are no longer serving you, right? So really paying attention now as you're hearing this, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to detach from? People, things, experiences that are not serving you anymore. Because if it's not serving you anymore, it's affecting your mental health as well, right? You're feeling down, you're feeling low, you're feeling angered, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, all the other things that come, all the other feelings that come around having situations, people, things in your life that just don't align with you anymore, right? After detachment and after we go through all these steps, you can then step into a place of unconditional love. Unconditional love for yourself and for your others, because once all these other steps are learned and incorporated into your life on a deep level, and we do the practice work together, you just start to wake up every morning and walk through the day through unconditional love, which ties into your truth. Truth and unconditional love sort of go hand in hand, but you first have to recognize who you are at your core and be okay to step into that every day. Then you go through all this, and then you come to a place of unconditionally loving yourself, right? Once you unconditionally love yourself, all you can see for others is love too, right? And then lastly, responsibility. So taking full responsibility and accountability and leadership of your own life. Once tagged you're it, become the leader of your own life, right? Once you come into that leadership and responsibility of yourself, and your life is not dependent on others, sure, you can have a spouse, you can have a partner, you have team members, you have your children, you have all these other support systems and partners in your life. But in the end, we are leading our own lives. It's up to us to make sure that we are mentally and physically okay, right? That we are emotionally sound, that we are living the life that we feel like is aligned and happy and joyful to us. So once all these steps are accomplished and learned and understood on a deeper level, you finally step into responsibility of yourself, and you realize your life is up to you. Your happiness is up to you. Your health is up to you. Your mental well-being is up to you. Your peace of mind is up to you. So I hope that all of these strategies that I've spoken to you about now through the end of the show, you can start to take a look at them on a deeper level. And if any of them are feeling out of alignment, or you feel like you don't have a good hold on any of them, please contact me at info@ritikarose.com. Please visit my website, ritikarose.com. Please read all the testimonials on my website, on my Yelp page, on my Google page. I'm a top rated, 5-star rated coach that is absolutely helped so many people transform their lives so they can really start leading their lives with really their truth, love of themselves and responsibility of themselves, and finally feeling like they have a purpose in this lifetime. They're operating through a mission of this lifetime. Their emotional and mental healing has come to a place of extreme depth of understanding of themselves, so they don't have to feel the anguish anymore that they don't belong, or that they don't have a purpose, or they stop asking why is this happening to me, and they really start operating into why is this happening for me, because everything is happening for you. So thank you everybody for listening to the show today. Mental health, everybody has it, including you. Please take in all the knowledge and wisdom I've given in the show today. Really embrace it. Start taking a look at, are these any areas of your life that you feel like are struggling? Are these any of the strategies that I've given you today that you don't have a good hold of, that you want to learn and incorporate more of into your personal life, into your family life, into your organizations? How can I support you? How can I support your families, your groups of people? How can I support your organizations? Again, please reach out to me, RiTikaRose.com. Contact me or email me at info@RiTikaRose.com. And I look forward to hearing from you, to your optimal health, well-being, mental peace. Thank you for listening. Until next time, gratitude, peace, and blessings. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Awaken Your Truth with me, RiTika Rose. I hope that you heard something today that sparked a shift in your perspective to free your mind, heal your life, and embody your power. The world needs love, acceptance, togetherness, and belonging. My hope is to be a contributing force towards the new world we need to create together. If each of us can awaken our truth and live with more empathy and authenticity, that shift will radiate. Spread the word and tune in next time for more conscious dialogues of healing and transformation on Transformation Talk Radio and Awaken Your Truth with RiTika Rose on YouTube and across all podcast stations. For more information about how to work with me, please visit RiTikaRose.com.